We shall study Grimm's law. So the consonant system of Indo-European had a rich array of stop consonants. This system underwent lots of changes in Proto-Germanic, and the most important series of this is referred to as the sound shifting or the great sound, the first sound shifting or the great sound shifting in order to distinguish it from the other shifting that took place in Old High German. So it is also called Grimm's law because after the German philologist Jacob Grimm who formulated it, it is referred to as Grimm's law. But actually it was Erasmus Rask, a Danish scholar, who had discovered these changes like that occurred in the other classical languages like Sanskrit, Latin, Greek, etc., and also in Germanic languages like English and Gothic. But Grimm is the one who studied these correspondences more closely and who formulated, there is a regular who understood or who studied further and brought it as a theory is Jacob Grimm. That is why this particular theory, this particular law is named after him as Grimm's law. Now let us have a quick look into what are these kind of changes. The law, as it was originally stated by Grimm, referred to the sound shiftings of Indo-European sounds, voice stop consonants per, ch, k and qu, which became f, th, h and w. Like Latin pedum, English foot, Latin truss, English tree, Latin canis, English hound, Latin quis, English hue, etc. So, as Grimm's statement of the law did not include all the Indo-European consonants, it was later modified by other scholars. But the major changes, we shall see the major changes now. And actually, if you are a student, you need to study these three changes. If you study these three changes, then you study the examples and then you can easily manage the essay. So let us study that very important three changes that took place, that comes under Grimm's law. Let us study those three changes. I have told you we are going to study the three changes that took place in the case of stop consonants, which comes under Grimm's law, and it is very important to study these three changes. So the first change is that Indo-European, I will just put it shortly, Indo-European aspirated voiced stops p, d, g loses its aspiration and becomes voiced stops b, d, g. Okay, so aspirated voice stops b, d, g became unaspirated voice stops b, d, g. Okay, I hope you understood this. Secondly, these voiced stops b, d, g, Indo-European voiced stops b, d, g became voiceless stops p, ch, k. Indo-European voice stops became voiceless stops p, ch, k. B, d, g became p, ch, k. Now third change is Indo-European voiceless stops p, ch, k became voiceless fricatives f, th, h. voiceless stops perturker became voiceless fricatives for the h. Very simple. If you study this, you understood Grimm's law. Just think like that. If you understood these three, then if you study the examples of each, then you are done with Grimm's law. Indo-European aspirated voiced stops Berdager, loses its aspiration and becomes voiced stops Berdager. Indo-European voiced stops Berdager became voiceless stops Berdager. Indo-European voiceless stops Berdager became voiceless fricatives further her. So we can summarize it like this. Indo-European aspirated voiced stops b, d, g became unaspirated voiced stops b, d, g. Indo-European voiced stops Berdager became voiceless stops per, ch, k. Indo-European voiceless stops Berdager became voiceless fricatives for the, h. Got it? This is the short thing for you to remember. If you study these three changes, then you understood Grimm's law well. You are really going to manage your essay well. Now you only need to study the examples. To illustrate this sound shiftings, the examples were taken from Sanskrit and English. Sanskrit to refer the Indo-European languages and English to refer the Germanic language. Okay, so let us see the examples. So now let us study the examples of this first series, which is the first series. Indo-European bh, dh, gh become b, d, g in Germanic. Let us see that. B becoming b, let us put it in 3 columns. B becoming b, dh becoming d, and g becoming g. Here we can know that Indo-European g is equal to Sanskrit h. Now let us see this example, bh becoming b. First example is brother becoming brother. Bhr meaning to bear. Bhu meaning to be. Bharami meaning bear. Okay, so we studied this. Now next study dha becoming the, like vidhava. If you know Hindi, you know half of these examples are very easy for you to remember. Vidhava becoming widow. Madhya becoming middle. Dha becoming do. Rudhira becoming red, and bandh becoming to bind. Okay, if you understand Hindi, you know all these things is easy. Vidhava, we know it is widow. Madhya, we know it is middle. So it is easy for you to remember. Now gha becoming gha, we should understand that Indo-European gha is equal to Sanskrit ha. We have hamsa meaning goose. Hu meaning to give. Thai, meaning becoming Thai. So this is the examples of the first series. Now we are going to study the second series, Indo-European, B, D, G, becoming P, Ch, K in Germanic. Let us put this in columns. B becoming P, D becoming Ch, and G becoming K. When we study this, we should understand that Indo-European G is equal to Sanskrit Y. Okay, so now let us see this. B becoming P. Let us study the examples. Dubus becoming deep, Kubja becoming hump, lubrious becoming slipan, slabu becoming sleep, turba becoming thorp, and also labium becoming lip. Labium becoming lip. Now the next example, D becoming T, we have cardis becoming heart, denda becoming tooth, desa becoming 10, dwa becoming 2, and swadu becoming sweet. Now G becoming G, we have Yanu becoming knee, Jelu becoming cold, from calds. Now Jna becoming to know, and Eiger becoming acre. So this is the example of second series Indo-European bird G becoming Percherke in Germanic. We are going to study the third series. Indo-European Percherke becoming in Germanic. P becoming F, Ch becoming T, and K becoming H. So Indo-European K is equal to Sanskrit S. Panja becoming 5, Pada becoming foot, Paku becoming fee, Pida becoming father, Tuam becoming thou, tree becoming tree or truss becoming tree, Tanu becoming thin, Pida becoming father, Antara becoming other. Now Ka becoming her. As we know, the Indo-European Ka is equal to Sanskrit Sa. Let us see this. Sada becoming 100. Swa becoming hound. Sira becoming head. Hua becoming hua. Can is becoming hand. Peku becoming fee. Now this is the example of the third series, Indo-European Percherker becoming Further in Germany. However, Grimm's law did not operate under certain conditions. For example, if Indo-European per or K happened to follow by ter, then the ter remained unchanged. From the combination ter and ter, it became ter and ter. It remained unchanged. It did not change. Thus we have octo, we have 8, noctis, we have night, etc. The same way, if Percherker is preceded by a sir, then that also remains unchanged. Hostis, guest. Hostis also st is there, guest also st is there. The exact date at which the consonant changes took place is not known. Probably these changes took place around 1000 BC. The cause is not known. Okay, so it is assumed that the changes is because of the contact of the Germanic people with the non-Indo-European populations. As a result of this law, many of the Indo-European words were altered considerably. This law is very important, especially for us to distinguish a word with German origin and non-German origin, and to know to distinguish between these two languages. Grimm's law is important for the comparative study of languages, for deriving the etymology of words, and to differentiate the Germanic branches from other branches of Indo-European. So I hope you understood Grimm's law. If you study that 3 changes, I have underlined and I have taught you those 3 changes. If you study the 3 changes, and if you study the examples under each series, those 3 series, the examples of the 3 series, then you can very easily manage the essay. So I hope it was this video is useful to you. Thank you.